Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, Infinite Audio, and today I got a very awesome treat for you. We got the new latest gear review, and this is our first episode reviewing this analog piece of gear. And I like to do virtual reviews because we both get to check it out together, and you don't have to buy it. You can see all the specs virtually, and if you like it, you can go ahead and check it out. And we're going to go through all that in just a minute. But I got a very special treat for you today. That's right, I'm very excited about this. The new Focusrite ISA C8X is out. C8X is out, right? So I don't want to waste no time. I'm very excited because I'm big on Focusrite, and you know they don't just make Scarletts. They've always made other interfaces, but now they came through with the ISA, and I am completely just thrown out of the water with this one. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen as I always do, because man, we really got to get into this one right here. So let's go ahead and dive in. So here we are, and this is what we got right here. We're here at the Sweetwater website, and so we're looking at images right here. I guess we could look at an image right here. This is the new Focusrite ICA ISA C86 USB-C controller. Hopefully they come out with a Thunderbolt one, but you know USB-C is just as great. You know, this is something. This is not your average Scarlett here. Okay, when you look at the specs of this, you're just gonna be like, wow, this is amazing. You know, first of all, I'm loving the blue color. This blue is amazing. It's rack mounted. So if you have a rack or you know what I'm saying, this is just gonna look real nice in your studio. Apart from what it has on the inside, Focusrite, and they're not paying me to say this, by the way. This is not sponsored by Focusrite, but they've really stepped their game up. And you know, say what you want, but they really came through. So here's a couple of images, you know, and the blue color, just man, they really took it to another level. This is no way that this is a Scarlett. Like, look at all this, you know. And the thing, and look at that. I mean, there is gonna be so much, you know, demand for this, and you know, and mind you, you might not. This might not be the interface for you. You know, this might not be for you. But if it is, check it out. Let's look at this right here, and we're gonna go through the specs in just a second. I just want y'all to see the dimension of it. So there's no need. I mean, unless you're down at your local music store or something, right? And they happen to have it, you can look at one physically. But you'd have to get into your car and drive all the way down to your local music, or get down there, however you're gonna get down there, just to take a look at it, when you can see it from your phone or from your device right here with us, and we're gonna go through all of it. Right now, if you actually want to touch and feel it physically, then go for it and do that. But I don't think there's a need to do that when we're seeing it all right here. It's all right here for our eyes to see. So there's the video there from Sweetwater. We're on the Sweetwater website. Shout out to Sweetwater. And also, Sweetwater is not sponsoring me, so this is, hopefully they will in the future. But you know, this is what, you know, shout out to them for this, for providing us these virtual specs and these virtual images that we can see, where we can actually look at this interface, look at it, examine it, without having to actually go down to your music store, and without having to dish out the $2,000-3,000 that they're asking for. So, you know, there's plenty of videos right there that we're going to review and get into in just a second, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to look into it. So now, look at that price tag. That's 3,000, you know, depending on the state you live. You know, you're looking at 3,000 with taxes and change, or you can get it financed for $64 a month for 36 months. Like I said, you know, if it's the one for you, you know what I'm saying? This is what's awesome about the virtual gear reviews, is that you don't have to spend this cash unless you know for a fact that this is what you want and this is what you're looking at. And because it just came out, it's brand new. You're not gonna find it on any other website. Like, you're not gonna find it like on. You might find it at Guitar Center new, like in retail, but you're not gonna find it like on Reverb. It just came out, so it hasn't been able to. You know, you're gonna have to get it new. And since it just came out, man, it's like, wow, this is amazing. So we saw the images, we're looking at the price tag, and it is pricey, you know what I'm saying? And so we're gonna come down to the specs, and we're gonna just go through some of the overview. We're not gonna read it all, but it has a Lundahl Legacy. Now, Lundahl Legacy is, if you read through it, those are the transformers of that make the preamps, and so they're very high quality. This is why it costs $3,000 just to get your hands on one of these, because these are not the preamps that you have on the Scarlett interface, or maybe even on the Claret. And the Claret has some nice ones. You know, the Focusrite Clarets pre's, they're amazing, but this one is still one step up. Like, this is still one, so. And Lundahl was, of course, these were the transformers that were made by Rupert Neve, the founder of Neve Consoles and Focusrite. So you can read all that in the Sweetwater website. I'm just going to move on. Patch Bay ready, INO room to grow. Now, this is one thing that I'm loving about this, and I think it's really worth it, is that you can daisy chain and connect these or patch them in to maybe an Apollo 6, an Apollo 8, or maybe a Carbon Pre, or some other type of large interface, or maybe another Claret Pre, or another Focusrite type of thing, maybe an I-1820, or like I said, an Apollo 8, or maybe an Avid Carbon, something like that, right? You saw the back ends when we saw this. When we go back up to the images, and you saw the back end right here. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that real quick. Look at this right here. This is what they're talking about, is that you can connect the clock, the world clock, so everything's synced. You can either do it through ADAT. There's different ways of doing it, of how you can connect it to other interface to expand your I/O, and just patch it in, as opposed to just daisy chaining it, right? And so you could read through that too, the different ways that you can connect it. ADAT, SPDIF, MIDI, the word clock, all of that stuff, right? So there's different ways, right? So you can just get up to, the 26 channel. That's a lot right there. You really don't need, depending on what you're doing too. Like if you're if you're an engineer, you're tracking bands and stuff like that, that'll get the trick, especially if you connected. But if you're making beats or composing, or this is all you need. You really don't need. I mean, trust me. You buy this interface. You drop the 3,000. You will never need another interface again if all you're doing is just composing, and maybe doing multi-track mixing for, like, anything less than 26. This is, I mean, trust me, man. This is a lot. You're getting a lot of stuff, man. And because it has all these things at high quality, and it's so, top-notch range, you're getting a lot here. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck here. So you're going to get, the best preamps. You're going to get a lot of I/O. You get to connect it to even expand your I/O. You have a lot of good, just a lot of top. I mean, Focusrite really did their thing here. And so you can, like I said, you can read all this. Now we're going to go down to the specs here. So here it is. 26 in, 28 out USB-C audio interface, an entire flagship performance with the legendary console heritage. Dude, just that right there alone is worth the $3,000 in my opinion. Now, like I said, this might not be the interface for you. You might just be starting. So you might need something, that's not this much. You probably don't need this much I/O if you're just making beats at home, or if you're just composing, or, you're just doing something, or you're barely new to this. This probably isn't the interface for you. But if you are a professional mixer, if you track bands a lot, mic up drums, if you do things of that nature that require more I/O and more stuff like that, then this is definitely, man, something to consider. And because it's brand new, you're not going to get it secondhand anytime soon. So 2 remote controlled ISA preamps, man, that remote control right there with the transformers, as I mentioned, right? Give it the warmth and depth, and it does have that console sound. You can go watch the videos; they'll play it all back for you. I'm just going through the specs here. As I said, I'm not selling you on it. I'm just showing you. We're doing a virtual gear review together. So you don't have to come out of pocket. You don't have to buy it. We're checking it all out here from your phone, from your computer, from your device. We're watching all this without having to drop the cash, and we get to see what it is that we have. So we saw the images. We're looking at the specs now. And so we have all these good stuff, and you can, I said, you could read it for yourself. We're on the Sweetwater website. Okay. So 6 additional remote control mic pre's with analog air mode, variable DSP, and 69 dB of gain. Let me tell you something, man. That air mode really makes a difference. Now, even on the regular Focusrite Scarlets, which the one that I'm using right now, I'm talking and I'm using air mode, and it does make a difference. There is a higher, there's like a higher, like a higher clarity, a higher, it reaches like a higher crisp type of gain, excuse me, that it gets, right? So 2 front panel transformers, and it's got the console 430 air modes. Okay, see, I just mentioned that right there. Cool. 8 fixed, 8 balanced gains, patch based setups, and permanent installation. So there you go. You get to customize this in your studio, or regardless of whether you're in a home studio or in a commercial studio. You can set it up to either add more, add another Scarlett, add another Focusrite. I'm sorry, add another Focusrite ISA. You can add a second ISA to it, and then you just doubled your stuff. So if it's 2628 just for one, if you patch it into a second one, you just doubled your IO. And man, dude, that's like, you don't really need more than that. If you're just making beats or you're just composing, you don't need, this is all the IO you need. So, but if you're multi-track mixing in a major studio, you're recording a large orchestra, you're recording a large band, and there's a lot of people involved in it, and you could, patch them into 2, and you just doubled, and that should cover your whole, your everybody. 12 balance in and output mono stereo immersive formats, 7 1.4, 3 monitor groups. So you go. So 7 1.4 Dolby Atmos mixing, you already know. 7 1.4 is the setup that you set when you're going to do an Atmos mix. So if you're a professional mixer doing Atmos mixes, most certainly got you covered. 3 monitor groups, absolutely, because you're going to need 3 monitor groups if you're doing Atmos. But if you're not doing Atmos, like just say you're doing a stereo mix, you get to connect it out to 3 different sets of monitors. So here I have the Iris 3.5s, my little ones, but I can also connect some, let's just say some Yamaha HS8s, and then maybe some Cali audios that are bigger, or whatever brand you want to think of, and you can basically do ABC comparison between all 3. And in other interfaces, it's usually just 1 or 2. So here they're giving you 3. And if you're doing a Dolby Atmos, then they're all integrated into it for the whole entire shebang there. So front panel remote monitor switching from professional plus dBu maximum output level. Awesome. So your gain, you're never going to get that floor noise. Outputs one, I mean, if you're, knowing how to use it, of course. Outputs 1 and 2 feature both XLR and TRS connectors for maximum flexibility. Yeah, because, if you're going to connect it to other interfaces and to get more I/O, you want to have different ways of doing it. You want the XLR way, you want the TRS way, and you have the ADAT, the SPDIF way, the word clock. So there you go. 2 class AB headphone outputs with independent level control, optimized independence, extra headroom. This is awesome too. I kind of wish they would have had more headphone outputs for something like this. I mean, you're dropping $3,000. I would expect at least 4 different headphone outputs. At least 4. Why? Because you got your guitarist, you got your drummer, you got your vocalist, you got your bass player, and they're all going to want their independent mix in their headphones. That way they don't get distracted by the other members of the band. And since there's only 2, not to mention your engineer has to monitor, so he's going to have one for him. So in this case, I would say 5 headphone outputs. Especially, I mean, man, you're dropping $3,000. If you're gonna buy it all in cash, you're looking at a $3,000 stick, man. So, you're gonna break my bank account. I'm gonna at least want five so that I can have one for myself as the engineer, and then at least four for the main band members, at least. You know what I'm saying? Um, 8S SPDIF MIDI word clock provides ample digital connectivity. Absolutely, we covered that. Flagship caliber 24-bit 192 ADA converters derived from Focusrite top of the line RedNet range. So you can look up into that. Their RedNet, that's their converters there. Auto gain automatically set levels across 8 preamps. So yeah, you got 8 preamps, the legacy ones, uh, from the ones that they mentioned. You could read those too. Focusrite Control 2 software, remote management, low latency monitoring, absolutely. The recall, mixing, and routing. So that really helps too. You have the control, depending on if you're using certain Macs. I think you can control one from your iPad into your Mac Studio or your MacBook Pro. So you can actually turn it off and off through your iPad, without having to actually physically touch it. That's pretty dope right there. Back to the Focus, the 3-year warranty. So yeah, it's brand new. You can't get it used right now. It just came out. So you have to drop the $3,000 for it, but you get the 3-year warranty. And let's hope that it lasts you forever. For that amount of price, I hope I never have to use a warranty. Things happen. If it does, they got you covered for 3 years. But you know, when I'm dropping that kind of money, I hope that never happens. I hope it lasts me till like I'm 90 years old. But that's just me. And include the Sonic Software Reverb plugin and the Hitmaker expansion plugin bundle. Now that's awesome right there, because it already comes in. So when you set it up into your DAW, you're gonna get you're gonna get that reverb, which is a classic reverb plugin that was made from Rupert Neve and them, and the Hitmaker expansion plugin bundle. You'll be able to make a ton of creations, man. A lot of you're gonna make a lot of great stuff with this. And so here's the resource right here. Here's a what is it? Is it a video or is it a? I don't know if this is a video or is it trying to see if it's a video or yeah, it's a video. It's a video. I thought it was going to be an article, but here you are. There's a tech specs right there, and you'll be able to see all that right there. There's our fellow Sweetwater engineer there, and Sweetwater engineer. I said Sweetwater engineer. Our sales engineer for Sweetwater, right? So shout out to them for putting it out there. They're the ones that I like to purchase when I do purchase. Their staff is very helpful, and like I said, Sweetwater's not paying me for this. Focusrite's not paying me for this, and I'm not getting sponsored in any way. This is a virtual gear review, so we get to check it out together through your phone. So you don't got to drive down there. You don't got to drop no $3,000, not even 64 a month, and we get to see the specs here one more time. So this is what you're getting for $3,000 right here. And man, I think it's worth it. Like I said, I wish there would have been more headphone outputs for more independent mixes, especially because when you have a band, the drummer doesn't want to hear what everyone else is hearing. The guitarist doesn't want to hear, and the only one that wants to hear everything is you, the engineer. Everybody else wants their own personal monitor mix. And so I wish that's the only thing that I wish it had more of. But everything else is fire. I mean, man, look at this. You know what I'm saying? And how much does it weigh? Let's see how much it weighs. You see, we don't even have to go over there and pick it up. We can find out here how much it weighs. 12.26 pounds right here. So it's a little under 13 pounds. About 19 inches in width and 3.5 inches in height. So that's, yeah, sure. That's about almost 4. Software, of course, the control. I mean, wow. I mean, you know what I'm saying? This is where it's also, you can go and check this out there. I'll leave the link below. And I'll also leave the link to the resources here on Sweetwater, so you can check out Sweetwater's review on it, and check out their spokesperson, Mitch Gallagher, as he goes and explains it to you in a much better way. But I just wanted to, I'm going to go ahead and stop the share. I just wanted to show you guys, how awesome this, this new, Focusrite ISA is. And so if you like it, and you got the bank for it, and you really think, and it's something that you really need, or something that will be a great addition to your studio because of how much you record and the type of bands you record and how much IO you're gonna need, I would go for it. Especially it just came out, so you can get it used. So you can go to reverb.com and get it right now. Not yet. Maybe in a couple of months or in a couple of years, but right now you got to get a new retail from either Guitar Center or Sweetwater or one of those retailers. Sweetwater is my go-to. They're the best in my opinion. They're best in customer service. All of my gear I've gotten through Sweetwater mostly. Um, so but there you have it. The new Focusrite ISA C8X. Check it out. And if you like it, if it's not for you, it's cool. You still got to check out the specs without having to go down there, without having to buy one. You still got to see, you're going to see what you get when you go to the website. And if it's for you, then make the purchase. You can finance it or you can get it outright. And like I mentioned, with that type of interface, unless something happens to it, you won't never need another interface again. So with that being said, check it out, and I hope you enjoy. And so like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I do mixing tutorials, beat tutorials. We do virtual gear reviews like this today. And so if you like it, check it out. If you want to make the purchase, make the purchase. There's no affiliate link. I'm not getting paid by Sweetwater. I'm not getting paid by Focusrite. Hopefully soon in the future once the channel gets monetized. But right now, I just want to deliver